Hey guys, this is Aegis, and this is Game 2. Welcome to the Collegiate Star League, Week 5 of Season 5. This is UMBC versus George Washington University, and in this bottom left-hand corner of MLG Zelnaga Caverns, I have MC and Dory spotting for George Washington University. He's going to be playing as the teal Protoss player. His opponent is going to be the pink Terran player Siren. Of course, Terran playing for UMBC, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. He is going to be making a couple of those SCVs. It looks like the pylon is coming up for Andori as of this moment. And of course, the Collegiate Star League is a huge organization with over, I think, 250 some schools playing this season. They did grow exponentially in recent years, and doing a great job of hosting these tournaments season after season, trying to get some live events out there as well. Siren is going to be throwing up his supply depot and lowering it, throwing down his barracks. The Collegiate Star League is sponsored by TT Esports and Twitch.tv. Check them out. TT Esports producing awesome gear for gamers, and it looks like Andori throwing up his gateway at a 13 food, pretty standard and normal for both players right now. Gas coming up for Siren, so this could be the beginnings of a 1-1-1. We'll see if that's what he opts to do, as it is a very powerful build against Protoss as of this moment. Nothing really changed that in the previous patch. Looks like we do have the assimilator coming up for Andori, and it gets cancelled. It looks like I don't know what he's trying to do. I find that really strange. What is he trying to do by canceling? Protoss needs gas, and he's going a gasless cybernetics core. He's going to now be throwing down his assimilator. Maybe this is a slightly altered build to be able to get that natural expansion a little bit faster, but we'll see what he decides to do right now. He is scouting throughout Siren's base right now. He does see this refinery as well as the tech lab coming up on that barracks, and I guess it's not going to be that 1-1-1 build, as it's normally a reactor. Looks like the Marine is going to be trying to pick off that one probe. Looks like double gas now taken by Andori. Going to be able to throw down his warp gate research in just a second. He's going to be getting a stalker. And the warp gate research slightly delayed because he did, I guess, mess up his gas timing. He's trying to rush up that gas count right now, possibly to throw down the warp gate research. There it is, the warp gate research coming up for Andori. He's got a probe sitting by the northern Zelnaga tower right now as well. Looks like Siren is going to be going for a concussive shell push with a couple of Marines and Marauders, maybe some SCVs to boot as well. So we'll see if he decides to do that shortly. We do have a robotics facility coming up for Andori. We'll be able to get out those very powerful Immortals. And he does have his Stalker now moving out across the field. Looks like here comes the concussive shell push. 2 Marauders, 2 Marines, and 2 SCVs. And it looks like that Stalker is going to be forced to back up, possibly chrono boosting a sentry out. There's a sentry on the way. It should be out on time for this push and prevent those units from getting up onto the high ground completely. Looks like a couple of extra gateways coming up as well. He's got a second sentry queued up as well. He needs to throw the chrono boost down on that sentry to get it out slightly faster, as those Terran units are approaching very rapidly. He's going to need that force field as perfect as possible, preventing any of those units from running up there at all. Looks like there's the force field coming up. The Stalker does get a couple of shots off on that SCV. It will get repaired. Siren looks like he wants to continue pushing here a little bit while taking his expansion. Right at the spot of the natural expansion. The second sentry is out. We should be seeing another force field. Going to be able to get a couple of extra shots off on that Marauder. Looks like Siren going to be trying to advance here once again. And the warp gate research is just about finished. Not yet enough energy to throw down another force field. Looks like Andori may be forced to pull some probes to help defend against this. Siren being a little bit timid about actually moving up the ramp. And there's the Immortal out. He's going to not be able to push up here. Immortals are so good against Marauders, especially if target firing them. And it looks like the warp gates are now coming in. and Siren is going to be backing up, possibly throwing down a couple of bunkers here to help defend. A nice position on those bunkers, going to force the Protoss units to, I guess, walk around to get a good surround on one of those bunkers. Couple of SCVs now transferring over to the natural expansion. The second gas is on the way as well. Stimpack is almost complete, so he's actually all geared up and ready to do another push as soon as that is done, and we'll see if that's exactly what he opts to do. Andori continuing to get those immortals. It looks like he may be going for a one base push to try to bust down the front door here. Looks like a couple more zealots going to be warping in. More pylons and a forge as well, so it may be with a +1 armor or a +1 attack to make those immortals all that much more powerful. There's another immortal coming out. No sign of any observer on the way, so he doesn't even care. He's just going to go for this bust. Meanwhile, Siren is getting the economic advantage, so the longer this goes on, it looks like ready when you are. They probably had a little bit of a lag, or somebody had to do something, phone call, etc. Looks like finally we do have a probe going to be scouting out to see exactly what his opponent is doing. Looks like it will be the +1 ground armor. Another immortal is being produced right now and chrono boosted, so he's definitely going to be going for this bust. Otherwise it'd be really bad for going into the late game, as those immortals are so mineral expensive, and Dori has dumped all of his money into this right now. Looks like maybe a little bit of a lag during the game, which we are not experiencing because this is a replay. Looks like Siren continuing to make those SCVs always good. If you guys have seen that graph on Team Liquid about Masters players and how many more SCVs they produce, that is exactly on point. That's how you do it. If you want to be Masters. Looks like Siren does have a turret up to help defend against any sort of DTs, but it's going to be a huge immortal push. There are pylons coming up over here, and it looks like this factory is getting put on a scouting mission, and all of Andori's units are streaming across the field. Another immortal will be popping out shortly to join this fight as well. It's going to be marching across the field. Andori does have it selected, and it's going to be joining this fight shortly. A couple of zealots were just warped in, and the Protoss ground armor level 1 is now finishing up. Siren, has he even scouted down there recently? I don't think he's actually scouted the natural expansion of Andori to see that there's nothing there, and he's actually pushing out right now with a huge force. And Andori doesn't know about this. He sees the two bunkers, and it looks like it may be a base. No, it looks like Siren is going to be retreating to try to defend. The bunkers do not get salvaged in time. The Guardian Shield going down, and a couple of Force Fields actually working against our Protoss player. Force Fields now going down behind the Terran Army. Stimpack going down. The Medivacs doing their best job to heal up all of those units. The Immortals going to work, blasting away all of those units. Looks like Siren's army is getting seriously hurt right now. All of it getting taken out. Not too much anti-air here, and the Zealot here taking out a huge number of SCVs. 3 SCVs credited to himself, and it looks like Siren trying to build additional production facilities right now. A huge immortal push up into the main. Looks like they will be able to clean up a couple of those SCVs. 8 kills, 9 kills on these immortal, 7 kills going up to 8 right now. It looks like the Marines trying to take out those units as well, and Siren has sacrificed nearly all of his SCVs, so even if he is able to clean this up, it's going to be really bad for him as this game continues. And Dori securing a huge supply lead, now doubling his opponent. Stimpack going down once again, trying to take out those immortals, and GG from Siren, and this game goes to Andori from George Washington University, is now tied 1-1 in week 5 of the Collegiate Star League. We're going to be moving to the 2v2 game, as the CSL does have these pretty cool 2v2 games, somewhat entertaining to watch. And yeah, we'll see you in game 3.